in danger!
Nice shot, Colonel.
Hey guys, Mike the Gaming Dad here, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is my first attempt at a Fallout 4 build and roleplay idea. For those of you who watched my first look Let's Play series, I set this save up towards the end of that series so I could experience the other faction endings within the game. I ended up enjoying this roleplay so much that I wanted to share it with you guys. This is my Sharpshooter and BOS agent Nora, also known as the Black Widow. And I find it hilarious that unintentionally, my first ever roleplay build ended up being Fallout's answer to the Skyrim Sneaky Archer. It's very stealth focused and in combat scenarios leans heavily on the use of VATS, as this was a skill that my Let's Play series didn't really rely on in any great capacity. It doesn't matter the enemy, Nora engages them incredibly effective in short and long range combat. Most of the time her enemies won't even know she's there. Up close, she is deadly with her silenced handgun, able to take out multiple enemies within a single VATS window whilst remaining unseen. Her perks help balance her AP usage and even replenish it, meaning more and more VATS windows. As she owns this skill through this playthrough, she'll become an effective assassin. Over time she becomes an effective sniper, either taking down single targets at range, or hitting larger groups of enemies and reducing their numbers before they can engage on her position. As she journeys through the Commonwealth, she'll find a group that sells her a weapon that will help her take on increasingly larger and deadlier foes. What I'll do in the next few chapters of the video is tell Nora's story and her background for this roleplay. It's tied heavily to the story anyway, we don't deviate too much. Then I'll go over the core of this build, the weapons and their mods, her perk tree and what perks are essential and what could be nice to haves, her armor sets and modifications on those, and so on. Let's begin. You may have guessed by now, but this is a modded guide. Now it's not an extensive list, like 20 mods in total, but if you want the mod list, please reach out to me on my Discord and I'll be happy to share this with you. One mod you can see here on the right makes character creation far easier by actually giving you a menu system.
Who is she? Who is she? Who is she? Where did you find her?
Hello there.
Right, onto the starting perk points. Because this is a VATS heavy build and relies on stealth, accuracy and perks that enable VATS, your core 3 skills are going to be perception, agility and luck. By all means alter this to suit your choice, but I'd recommend going for around 6 into each of these 3 skills. I've seen videos where other players recommend going even higher like so, and then leaving very little elsewhere. I won't do this myself for this specific build, only because some of the skills like strength and intelligence contain perks that I believe are essential, and if you leave them say strength at 1, you can't access armourer, meaning you're leaving yourself at the mercy of finding modifications rather than crafting them yourself. I think something like this is a better initial split. We'll still need to add a few perks into strength and intelligence to access things like gun nut, armourer and science, or find bobbleheads, but it won't be as many. And 6 is a good starting point for perception, agility and luck to assist us in early VATS use. So come on Nora, let's get started with your story.
Don't want there to be any holdups in the unforeseen event of total atomic annihilation.
Oh my god!
No! Shut the gun now!
Hold on!
Can't this thing move faster?
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god!
It all happened so fast. Barely had Nate, Sean and I been rushed into the vault that we were put into these pods. I don't know what happened, but I remember they were trying to take Sean, and then they shot Nate. I remember that face though, the scar, and then they put me under again.
Oh god.
I didn't know how long had passed, but the machines they had malfunctioned and
I'll find who did this.
I'd hoped it all was just a bad dream,
And I'll get Sean back.
but my nightmare had become reality.
I promise.
I didn't know how long I'd been down there, but every Vault-Tec staff member I found was nothing more than a skeleton. How much time had passed? I couldn't think straight. My mind raced between thoughts of home, of Sean, and that face in the glass window. Sanctuary. Our once green, lush neighbourhood. Everything has gone. I didn't know where to start, but I was more determined than ever to find Sean. I heard of this reclusive group that called themselves the Institute. The people in Diamond City, a ransacked settlement within Fenway Park, seemed to think they were most likely behind it. But how would I ever find them? Not one person knew where their base was. I decided that the Brotherhood of Steel was probably my best shot. They were the only ones I'd encountered with anything like the resource or firepower to track down this group, so I sought them out in the ruins of Cambridge Police Station. The group's leader, Paladin Dance, was impressed by my skill in dealing with the ferals. He requested I accompany him on a mission to sweep an old aerospace factory. They were looking for something to repair their comm system. This was to be the first of many runs with Dance as we became an effective team. After Arcjet, I had a way into the Brotherhood, and Dan sponsored me, and my skills ensured I advanced quickly within the Order.
The Brotherhood might be
I was honest about my motives though. The Brotherhood had its own reasons for wanting to get to the Institute.
That's a pretty good one.
As I ran more and more ops for the Brotherhood, I developed my skills further, and with it, my reputation within the Order began to grow. One particular mission had me sweeping and clearing College Square and the underground station. It was completely overrun with ferals, but I cleared it so efficiently that they started to call me Sharpshooter. I wasn't afraid to get my hands dirty though. I'd do anything to get me close to finding Sean. Elder Maxon admired my dedication to the cause.
You couldn't get a better recommendation. Therefore, from this moment forward, I'm granting you the rank of Knight.
And as I rose through the ranks at the Brotherhood, they had me on point in more and more daring missions.
Primary target down.
There were some really rough gunfights. But anytime the Brotherhood needed something doing silently and quickly, they turned to me. I was their instrument in the Commonwealth. The irony wasn't lost on me. I'd become to the Brotherhood what Kellogg was to the Institute, and when I finally avenged my husband and took him down, my reputation was almost complete. Maxon saw an opportunity, and with it came mine. He wanted me to get to the Institute, and I had his full support. It was from this point on that I became their Black Widow.
So I'm confident you'll travel in the right circles.
Travel in the right circles. I knew what he meant. Espionage, extracting information. Powerful men ran what was left of the Commonwealth, but I would have them eating out of the palm of my hand. Around me they would blab like school children.
You're a hell of a risk taker, Hancock.
Only have one life. Why not try it all? Anyway, did you need something else?
Tell me more about this town of yours, Good Neighbor.
It's all about the people, understand?
I think they're the ones that kidnapped my son.
My goal remained the same though. I had to find Sean. I had to find my son. This whole time I'd felt disconnected, like I was so single-minded that I could just do what I was doing without emotion. Maybe that's why I was so good at what I did. One thing I didn't plan for though was my growing feelings towards Dance. Something about him reminded me of Nate. Stoic yet caring. I owed a lot to him for believing in me from the beginning. Our romance was to be short-lived, however.
Paladin Dance is a perfect match for one of the scents on that list.
Through a hack of the Institute's mainframe, Elder Maxon had learned that Dance was actually a missing Gen 3 synth. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I pleaded with Maxon, but he was unwavering. He ordered me to destroy Dance, my mentor, my friend, my lover.
There must be some other way.
Absolutely not. My decision is final.
If it needs to be done, Then so be it.
I had no
I've
option
never
but
been
to retreat
prouder of
behind
you
the
than I
Black
am
Widow.
right now, sister.
I needed the
It's been
Brotherhood
a
to help me
pleasure
get to
serving
Sean.
with you.
That was my only goal. So I did it. I executed him like he was nothing to me.
Ad Victorium, sister.
And this is where the story ends. Will Nora finally cut ties with the Brotherhood when she learns who Sean is? Or will she refuse to accept what he has become and vow to destroy the Institute? If you adopt this playthrough, you get to decide her fate.
I'm all for one less course.
So firstly, let's run through what weapons you need to set this build up then. It's really straightforward. You'll need to run with the Railroad for a time to get your hands on the Deliverer Silence Pistol. And this weapon you're going to want to max it out completely with the Advanced Receiver, Extended Barrel, Sharpshooter's Grip and large Quick Eject Mag. Some of this you can get through Tinker Tom. You'll also want to complete enough of Pam's DIA cache missions to unlock Ballistic Weave.
I hope it goes better than last time.
For Nora's long-range weapon, there's not really a better option in-game than the Overseer's Guardian with its additional projectile effect. You get this from the trader Alexis inside Vault 81. Again, you want to max this out with the 308 receiver especially, long ported barrel, recoil compensating stock, large quick eject mag, and I'd recommend the silencer as well. I ran without it for a time, but it's just so much more effective with a silencer for this playstyle. These are really the only two weapons you'll need. For a time I ran with a combat shotgun when I needed some extra grunt, but this isn't essential. And I also used a Fat Man in certain missions just because it's hilarious, but again, not an essential. Now let's discuss Nora's perks, and I'll split these into essential and nice to have. The only real essential perk in the strength tree is Armourer, and you'll need this to fully max out your clothing sets with the strongest ballistic weave types, and that's pretty much it. Within the perception tree, I really like Night Person, more through roleplaying than anything else, but Nora does a lot of her business at night, it just works. Extra intelligence and perception is a great bonus to have. There's nothing in endurance that I think is essential, but within charisma I really like the perk Black Widow, obviously. I know it's not the strongest perk, but it just fits the character perfectly, especially when she's in her wooing attire. Let's face it, men look at her and they forget what they were talking about. There are a couple of essential perks within the intelligence tree. Firstly, Gun Nut. Some of the highest weapon perks are locked behind this, so I didn't want to leave this one to chance. Then there is Science, and again, you'll need to max this to access the best ballistic weaves. Agility and Luck are where most of your other perks will eventually go. So we have Gunslinger, probably the most crucial perk of them all. Deliverer is your primary weapon, and this is your primary perk, so max it out. Sneak, I'm rank 4 currently, and I may take this to 5 eventually, but we'll see. Mr. Sandman, eventually you'll probably have maxed this, it's still worth getting all 3 perks in here. I also took Action Girl to assist with AP regeneration. Ninja for extra sneak attack damage is also a must have, and this one is similar to Mr. Sandman for me. Currently I've got 1 perk in it, but eventually I'll have all 3. Those 2 perks go hand in hand. Quick Hands I also recommend. Your sniper rifle won't really need this, but the Deliverer even with an extended mag doesn't carry a huge capacity, so this helps. And finally in the luck tree, it's pretty much everything from better criticals upwards. This perk boosts critical damage with each subsequent rank. Critical Banker allows you to save those guaranteed critical hits, meaning you can unload them if you face a particular troublesome enemy or overwhelming group. Grim Reaper Sprint. Make a killing VATS and there's a percentage chance your entire AP is restored, a really powerful perk for this playstyle. And finally 4 Leaf Clover. Now I recommend only getting 1 perk in this, as this will give you an 8% added chance to fill the critical meter per every hit when using VATS. Subsequent points only give you 2% each time, so aren't worth it. Then onto the nice to have perks. Rifleman is a bit of a strange one. I didn't feel like this was totally necessary. 1, because Overseer's Guardian is Nora's secondary weapon, and 2, the additional projectile plus the sneak attack bonuses meant I didn't really need it, but you may decide you need this extra damage as well. I also like Locksmith because I hate not being able to loot all of the containers and open all doors. Lastly, I went with Demolition Expert, and I will most likely get the next rank with the throwing arc, just because I like having that. These next two aren't required late game, but early on I felt like I needed these to assist in surviving, as Nora doesn't have a huge health pool, and doesn't make use of heavier armour types before she gets her ballistic weave gear. These two perks are Toughness and Life Giver, and I only took one rank in each. Other than when she ran with Dance from time to time, Nora tends to travel alone, so Lone Wanderer may be a route you want to go down. Medic is a great perk for this playthrough, as we all need Stimpaks and Radaway from time to time. Hacker I group with Locksmith. I don't like it when I find something I can't open, so usually I take this eventually. We're approaching endgame territory now, but Gun Fu at the top of the agility tree is a perk which synergises really well with this playstyle. Rack up those targets and watch them fall. And finally in the luck tree, not essential but I took Scrounger early on. In the beginning when your damage output is lesser, I was burning through rounds quickly, especially 10mm. And lastly Idiot Savant, annoying as hell but it'll help you level quicker. Now onto Nora's attire. These are mostly mods, so like I say, if you want the full list, message me on Discord or Instagram or wherever and I'll share. Nora has her Black Widow Brotherhood Ops gear, and this is her day-to-day gear when she's fighting whatever the Commonwealth is throwing at her. The suit you can add Ballistic Weave to, and I've got the Railroad Hybrid Weave Mark V on mine. Black rim glasses are a base game item which grants +1 Charisma, and I've got the Targeting HUD platform on this pair to assist in identifying enemies, friendlies and so on, useful at night time. Military Cap is another base game item granting +1 Perception, and this is modded to the max with Hybrid Weave Mark V, the Ultralight Build mod which grants +10 AP, and finally the Shielded Lining for extra damage resistance. Nora's second outfit is for when her mission requires a slightly different approach. No Black Widow would be complete without the head-turning evening attire. In need of passing a persuasion check? No problem. The boots come with a range of colours and fabrics, and I went with black leather as it matches the dress. On the dress, gloves and choker you can apply both Shielded Lining and Railroad Weave for exceptional damage resistance. And that's pretty much it. I went with two clothing options as I felt it fit the story arc quite well. Also, I'm not sure on Nora running through the Commonwealth and engaging super mutants dressed like this, but you do you. I mean, she looks fabulous, doesn't she? What do you think of my first attempt at a roleplay build? I haven't included an XP leveling tutorial as I looked online and there are so many of these already, and with Fallout 4's leveling system where XP can be granted to any perk, you don't level pistols through pistol use and so on, I decided not to include a step-by-step guide like I do with my Skyrim build videos, as I wanted to focus more on the story and the roleplay. I can see myself using this save for quite some time though. It's super fun and easy to play, and Nora kicks ass wherever she goes.
No, but I've heard of you. I'm always looking for people who know how to handle themselves in dangerous situations.
She can certainly do that. I'm Mike the Gaming Dad. See you next time.